CM Punk supposedly quit the WWE on Monday night before Raw aired, hours before Raw went live last week, not this week. And news didn't break until Wednesday morning. I woke up Wednesday, someone tweeted me on Twitter saying, hey, is there any truth to the CM Punk situation? People were talking to me about it. I had zero idea what they were talking about until I checked up online and said a top WWE superstar quits the company, and I had zero idea that it was CM Punk. That came as a complete shock to me. So, at first, it was really unclear as to whether this is a work or whether this was legitimate. It was really unclear at first because details were still a little foggy at the time. But in the last week, I mean, I'm a little late on this. Everyone's already talking about this a lot in the last 7 days, so I don't want to beat this horse down to death here, but it's beating a dead horse. But nonetheless, I will just briefly comment on it. CM Punk being one of my favorite wrestlers, I hate to see him gone. I don't think he's going to be gone for good. I hate seeing people say that he's going to be gone forever. He will be back, people. Not for the money, but after he rests up, he will be back. He took a break last year, remember, right after WrestleMania for about 2 months before returning at Payback. And in my personal opinion, I said that at the time, and I'll say it again right now, that wasn't enough. This guy's extremely beat up. He's been wrestling with beat up ribs for months now. His knee's been beat up for a number of years. So this guy, I commend him for working through all of these injuries, and I don't blame him for leaving. He wasn't satisfied with the direction of the company, his character, satisfied with what they were doing with Daniel Bryan and how he wasn't in the main event of WrestleMania. Because remember, CM Punk's last match for right now was at the Royal Rumble, in the Royal Rumble matchup, and he probably knew that he was going on, that Daniel Bryan wasn't going on to contend for the title at WrestleMania, or that, the rumored match in the books was him versus Triple H, CM Punk that is, at WrestleMania. Maybe he knew that he was going to job out, and that's why he wanted to leave. Everything's kind of up in the air right now, but personally, I think that the leading factor in all of this was CM Punk's nagging injuries, so I don't really blame him for leaving. However, he isn't completely not at fault here, because his contract expires in July. They had the pay-per-view, or they will be having their Payback pay-per-view for the second year straight in Chicago in June, a day before my birthday on June 1st. So it would have been very cool, much like 3 years ago at Money in the Bank, had they done something to, as a send-off for CM Punk, or something along those lines. But he quit about 6 months too early. And it's not only that. I think he should have, waited it out a little bit. Maybe he couldn't have worked at all. I don't know if he was beat up to that point where he couldn't have worked at all, because he's worked with injuries in the past. But right now, it's just a very confusing situation, a very confusing time in WWE. And a lot of people are saying that Batista is the one to blame. I honestly do not think that Batista is at all to blame for this. As you guys heard in the clip at the start of the show, him and Batista are good friends behind the curtain. They have been for years. I don't think that Batista was a leading factor in this at all. Maybe the fact that he was going on to WrestleMania after being gone for 4 years and just randomly being placed in the main event of WrestleMania ticked him off. I don't think his problem is personally with The Rock. Because as he said in that clip, The Rock was back maybe every few shows on the road to WrestleMania. Because remember last year, at this time last year, a year ago today, he wasn't even on the show despite being the WWE champion. So that being said, Batista is going to be making continuously making Raw appearances until WrestleMania and beyond for the next 2 years, which has been rumored. So I just don't think, what I do think is that I don't think CM Punk had anything, had any heat with Batista. Maybe the fact that he came back after 4 years and going on to WrestleMania to contend for the title ticked him off a little bit. The creative direction. I don't think facing Triple H is a major step down, honestly. Their match at Night of Champions from 2011 was garbage, in my personal opinion. But that's only because they had like 10,000 run-ins. It was no holds barred. It was a complete cluster F of a match. They had run-ins and interference from Awesome Truth, from Kevin Nash. It was complete garbage, and it could have been a much better match than it was. So I was hoping to get that at WrestleMania. And remember, this is the roles reversed this time. CM Punk would have been the babyface, and Triple H would have been the heel. So it would have been that much more interesting. So it looks like we're not getting that match at WrestleMania this year, unless CM Punk, returns at some point in the next few months. And people that are saying that this is a work, this isn't not at all a work. I'm pretty sure that's been since confirmed. what ticked me off about Raw last night was the fact that they didn't even mention it at all. People were chanting for CM Punk all throughout the show, and this is only Omaha, Nebraska. This isn't your quote-unquote IWC crowd like Brooklyn, like New York and MSG, or like Chicago or Canada or England or wherever else. This isn't your typical smarky crowd, and even they were chanting for CM Punk. They had CM Punk signs confiscated last night at Raw. The rumor that people were being kicked out for chanting for CM Punk is false, so I want to put that to rest. But they were confiscating CM Punk signs when people walked in, when people were sitting down. I heard they were being nice about it, the officials that is. So that's good to hear. But even still, the fact they were confiscating signs for CM Punk pretty much confirms that he is indeed gone from the company, or at least for now. So, with that being said, though, it all just kind of remains to be seen whether he's going to be back in the next few months. He could be back next week. Will he be back next year? I hope so. The longer he's gone, the bigger pop he'll get when he eventually comes back. But I do kind of miss him on the roster. Last night's Raw show sucked without him. Even if he was in the show, it still probably would have been boring as heck anyway. But, regardless, it is a shame that he's gone from WWE for right now. And when he'll be back, like I said, it's completely up in the air at the moment. They've removed him from almost everything advertising-wise, from the WrestleMania lineup to the house shows. The WWE unfollowed him on Twitter. Not that that has any significance at all, but regardless, they removed him from the Raw opening. They've done almost everything but confirmed that he's gone from the company. He's still listed as a superstar as I record this on WWE.com. His merchandise is still being sold on WWE.com, which I don't think they should pull, by the way, because he's one of the top leading merchandise guys in the company. I'm going to send out for a CM Punk hat in a few days, despite the fact that he's gone from the company. But my point is that I don't at all think this is a work, so let's put that to rest right now. And it's just a matter of time before he comes back. When it will be, like I said, no one knows. But hopefully it's sooner rather than later, because it's WrestleMania 30, folks. I mean, John Cena was recently injured. CM Punk won't be at the event. So the WrestleMania right now isn't looking too great. Batista versus Orton, if we do indeed get that, it's going to be hysterical to watch the Mania crowd poop all over that. I don't see people walking out of the arena or, turning their backs to the main event. I don't see that happening. I would love it if it did, but I don't see that happening. But what will be interesting, though, is when Raw is in Chicago on March 3rd, in a month from yesterday. That's going to be great. If CM Punk is not back by then, which I don't think he will be, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how the Chicago crowd reacts to that night's Raw. I'm going to tell you that much. So can't wait for that. But, regardless, hopefully he is back at some point in the next month. Like I said before, highly doubt it, but it's just not going to be WrestleMania without CM Punk. So hopefully we get an update on the CM Punk situation at some point in the very near future. Apparently, per the dirt sheets, Vince McMahon is working is working his hardest to get CM Punk back. Triple H apparently is he's kind of two-sided about this. He doesn't care, and then he kind of cares. It's kind of hard to explain. He's kind of, both happy and mad about it, as I imagine most of the people in the company are, because I know CM Punk wasn't very well liked backstage. By the superstars, he kind of was, because he spoke up for them, but that's a whole other topic for another day. So in conclusion, here's hoping Punk is back in the WWE sooner rather than later.